Hydroxycut, and I want you to know that the next time you see me, I'm gonna be super.
Hi, my name is Eli, and in high school, I got addicted to Hydroxycut, and I ruined all of my shirts. So I don't know if addicted is really the best word to use in this scenario, just because it implies such like this big thing, right? But I can't think of another word that I would use to describe my situation. So Hydroxycut, for those of you that don't know, is a weight loss supplement that's no longer on the market. It's a caffeine-based supplement, and each serving, which is 2 pills, had 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. And so you're supposed to take your pills and pair it with a healthy lifestyle, you know, working out and a good diet, and you're supposed to see the results of weight loss. But in high school, I did neither one of those things. Instead, I used it as a total supplement for food, kind of like the Jetsons, how they have that little cube of breakfast. That's what I would do. That's how I thought about it. And so I was effectively taking over 400 milligrams of caffeine every single day, and I would not stop taking it. There wouldn't be a day I wouldn't use it. Days, in fact, that I wouldn't use it, it would really drain on me. I remember one day I didn't have any, or I had just run out, and I called out of school. I called out sick because I could not go to school without these pills. And I remember very vividly calling my mom, and I was crying and dry heaving, and I was screaming at my mom, asking her to order me more pills. And I remember that quite vividly. That's something that's an image that sticks with me. I think the reason it started was because I wanted to be good at football. I never played football in my entire life, really, like in a league or anything. Just, you know, on the playground. And so when I got to high school, that was the first time I put on pads and the first time I wanted to be good at football. But the problem is I'm not super duper athletic. So I was put right on the line because I'm not super duper fast. And at that time, I wasn't super strong, and I was kind of afraid of physical contact. So it's not a very good pairing for a lineman in football. So my solution was to bulk up, you know, gain a lot of muscle, gain a lot of weight, and make it so hard for people to move me. The problem is I did this very quickly over the course of like a winter, like from my freshman year to sophomore year, and I didn't get any better. I thought I was going to get better, and I didn't get any better, and I still felt like an outsider on the team, and now I felt like this really big, ugly outsider. I felt like a loser. I was looking for a lifeline, and then I found it with Hydroxycut. And so I started taking these pills every single day, probably starting in my sophomore year, and then extended well beyond I graduated. But the problem is with the pills, it's so much caffeine that you have to take it with food, and if you don't take it with food, you get really, really sick. So every single day of my life, I felt incredibly nauseous. I felt like there was a hole burning in my stomach. But to me, this was proof that the pills were working. If I could feel something, then it meant that it was doing something to me, and it meant I was losing weight. And so that's all I wanted to do. And so I would take 4 pills a day, sometimes more, depending on if I was having a bad day. And bad days for me back then still look like bad days for me now, because you know, while I stopped taking the pills now, I haven't necessarily gotten better about my body image. It's small things like if I sit in a chair and it squeaks, then it really starts to affect me. If I see a candid photo of me and I hate the way I look, that really wears on me a lot. If I put on an old shirt and it doesn't fit how it was supposed to, then that wears me down. And so one really effective method I found with my shirts was to immediately stretch them out as much as I could. So I would buy shirts and like t-shirts, and I would immediately put it on and then pop my shoulders under the shirt and spread it out until I started to hear popping. And if that wasn't good enough, then I would, you know, put it over my knees, and I would keep stretching it out. So I did this with all of my shirts. Because, you know, if the shirt was so big, then people wouldn't think that I was big. It was just that the shirt was big. So I would do this. I would wear jackets every single day. In the Houston heat, this is still something that I do. just because for me it was like a layer of armor. It was, I was protected from it. So ultimately, in terms of my struggles with body image, I was gifted this perfect solution. All I had to do was take these pills every single day and power through some nausea, and I would get to a point where I started to feel better. And the worst part is that it worked. I did lose a lot of weight. I went from 215 pounds that I bulked up to for football to 160, maybe even less than that. I don't know. I kind of stopped checking. I still have a lot of anxiety checking scales, so I don't step on them, and I close my eyes at the doctor's office and stuff. And so I had lost a lot of weight very quickly. And going into my senior year, things got better. And so I got a girlfriend, and I won homecoming king and prom king. People started to talk to me more. It felt like I was popular at school for the first time in my life. And for me, that was because of the Hydroxycut. It had given me this confidence, but it's really a false confidence. It's a confidence built on the back of something that I knew I was ashamed of. For as much as I loved hearing things like, oh, do you miss food? Or do you, how did you do that? Like, how'd you lose all that weight? All that stuff made me feel really, really good, unfortunately. And it made me feel like, wow, people were noticing me and they were noticing my change, and they thought I looked better. So I had all this confidence, but like I said, it was a confidence built on shame. It was something that I knew I didn't want to do. The pills, I knew I didn't want to take them. I knew they made me feel bad. And I think the reason I knew that is because I would hide them. I never told anyone. I think there's maybe 4 people in the entire world that know that I did this. I was ashamed of it. I would order a lot of pills at a time. I would order a couple capsules at a time on my mom's card, and at the time it was just me, my mom, and my 2 sisters living together, and so there wasn't a lot of spare money to go around, and I felt shame and using whatever we had to order these pills. And I felt shame knowing that I couldn't not order the pills. I couldn't function without them. Like I said, I wouldn't go to school, I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't go on dates unless I could have my pills. I am happy that I went through something like that, because I think if we're able to recognize our shortcomings in the past, it can give us strength in the present. I think that the reflectiveness of our own stories can lead to betterment in the present, in the now. I got to this point with Hydroxycut where I thought I would be happy. But the problem is, I didn't have this target goal. I didn't have a set number. I wasn't doing it a healthy way. For me, there was so much thrill in just seeing the numbers go down, seeing my pants start to slip off, seeing the shirt that I had already outstretched get even bigger on me. It's not like whenever I lost a bunch of weight, the struggles went away. Like I said, I would still get upset when I sat in a squeaky chair. I would, if you knew me, I'm constantly tugging at my shirt. I still do this. It's a habit that I don't even think about, but I'm just standing there and I'll pull up my shirt and I'm readjusting my shirt. I would, every mirror I pass by, I would lift up my shirt to make sure my stomach looks good. This is something I still do as well. It's not something that I've gotten rid of. I still have the same struggles today, and I'm not forcing myself to be sick all the time. And so I'm not here to knock weight loss pills. I'm not here to say that weight loss supplements are bad for you. I think that, when you do it right and you pair with a healthy lifestyle and a good diet, then there's a lot of benefit to it. But the problem is, there's repercussions to everything. And so when you do it wrong, like I did, then you sort of end up in a situation where you're going to be unhappy no matter what. I am happier now than I was when I was taking the pills. I haven't taken them for a few years at this point. I still deal with body image every single day. Every single day I deal with it. It doesn't go away. Things get easier if you persevere and if you try to learn lessons from your own personal story. there is strength in every story, because your story is so invaluable and you have no idea. And if you are able to take the time to reflect on your story and how you got to where you are, all of the shortcomings and all of the praise and all of the failings, then I think that in itself can give you the most strength to move forward and to live life to your happiest. And so that was my story about Hydroxycut. I still have all of those old shirts, and every single day I wear them. Every single day I see how they're frayed at the bottom and all the fabric is worn out, and it just serves as this reminder of what I was willing to do for momentary happiness and what I'm willing to do for permanent.